is Ed Crowley. I actually have multiple jobs. My full-time job is as a professor at Southeast Missouri State University, where I teach entrepreneurship. My other full-time job is as a rancher here. We operate, gosh, not quite 300 acres here on 3 different farms, which are all connected. And I just have a lot of fun raising animals and bringing people fantastic food. The Fiber Festival was started 4 years ago, so it would have been in 2021 that we did the first one. It's been a lot of fun. It's grown a lot since then. I think we had the very first one we did it. We actually did as part of a event in Bowling Green County, and I think we had 50 people there. Then the next year we had 300. Then we had 800. Then we had 1,000. And so it's been growing a lot. We have a group of volunteers. We have a kind of a core team that works by myself, my wife, actually my cousin, a friend of ours, Mila, who's been great, and of course, our staff here on the farm. And we start planning a year before, so we just wrapped up the 2025 event. We're already starting to work on the 2026 event. So we start getting our vendors signed back up. We go through the planning, how we're going to structure it, the schedules, getting commitments from sheep shearers, all those things. And so that process starts a year before. We kind of spend really the first that first 6 or 8 months is a lot about just recruiting vendors, make sure we have everybody signed up and getting the schedules lined out. Then over the winter, we start doing, some of the more detailed planning work, classes, those types of activities. And then for about 3 months before it, we kind of go into high gear. There's always a lot of just infrastructure work we have to do, putting new gravel on roads, things like that. We just cleanup work, getting everything ready for the event. And that really goes into high gear about the month before. And then we're spending just a huge amount of time just getting ready for it. So it's a lot of work, a lot of activity, a lot of planning, and a lot of social media management, things like that to keep people informed about it. But that's the general process.
I'm Jefferson Fox, and our business is Fox Stoneware. My wife Sharon and I run this business.
Awesome. And where are you from?
Jackson, Missouri.
Perfect. And how did you get a spot at the festival this year?
We actually started last year with the festival and got to know Ed afterwards and got the invitation from Mesta Meadows to come back again.
Awesome. And what are you looking forward to most this weekend?
Just all the people. It's fantastic. The group of people that show up for this event are just good folks. Lots of old world spinning types who like wool and sheep and things that I appreciate.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Caroline.
And we found out about the festival because I went through a long list of the national wool festivals, and this one was on the registry for national wool festivals.
Where are you guys from today?
We're coming out from Columbia, but I'm initially from California.
And I'm initially from Chicago.
I'm really excited to look at the petting zoo, and I'm also excited to see all the yarn and all the hand spun fiber.
I'm excited to see all the handmade stuff and the vendors, and also the petting zoo and the animals.
What got you guys into this?
I've been knitting since I was 5, so I just got really into fiber festivals once I got a car and could drive around and stuff.
And I don't knit or crochet, but I have a lot of friends that are into fiber arts and stuff like that.
We have a lot of different businesses, and in fact, we're actually changing the name of the festival this year to the Ozark Highland Craft, Sheep, and Fiber Festival, because we have such a diverse range. We have kind of our core group that are firms that are involved either in producing fiber, sheep farms like ourselves, or processing fiber. We had, for example, Good Shepherd Wool Mill here last year. I believe they'll be here next year again. So they're actually a wool mill. We have what I'll call the kind of the vendor supplier communities like Ava Craft Center, which does work around rug weaving using natural fibers. And then we have just a real diverse set of craft vendors. Everything from wood carvers to people that are actually fiber artists doing weaving, spinning, to pottery. I mean, it's just a really diverse range. But we're really trying to highlight, folks that are doing ag-related crafts and things. But they're not all that. Some are like the pottery folks, very popular, but definitely not necessarily ag-related. They just make really cool pottery. Then we even have Famke Tales, which is an author who publishes books about farm animals. So, again, it's just a very diverse range. I think our people come here for the experience, to experience the farm, the petting zoo, those things, but they really love that diversity of vendors and all those neat variety of things that we have.
All the books that I write are about real animals and stories from their adventures in their life, real stories, but it's written from their point of view. So if they had a voice, what would they say? So the next book I'm writing about is actually about Ed's dog, Delilah, amongst all the different animals here at the farm. And that probably won't come out until December of 26 because I got to do some research.
Well, Karen actually, they live in St. Louis. They have a place close to us here, couple miles away. And gosh, how did we first meet them? They had, I think they first came by when they moved in, and they visited our store. And then she, went through the petting zoo and saw the animals, and just, they just become friends. And they really have been a huge help for us here at the festival. So that's how we got to know her. And she's writing a book about Delilah, which is just way cool. She was our first, Delilah and Samson were our first livestock guard dogs. So we got Samson, this was when we lived in Kentucky, and we'd lost some sheep to coyotes, is why we got them. So we had a predator problem. And so we picked up Samson. He was about a year and a half old, 2 years old. So he was already working. He was working down. And we went down to get Delilah. She was a puppy. She was 8 weeks old, just a baby, just a cute little fuzzball, right? And so when we saw Samson, and it's like, okay, well, we got to get him too. So we got both of them. Brought them back. They grew up together, and so Delilah is just an amazing livestock guard dog. She's a Great Pyrenees. Beautiful Great Pyrenees. She was more of what's called a Western Great Pyrenees. They have a little blunter face, a little coarser coat. She's a very beautiful dog. Sam is a little more of an Eastern Great Pyrenees, very refined features, very elegant looking dog, but an incredible guard dog. And to kind of share her character a little bit, I think one of the great stories is she, when she was full grown, she was guarding a field that we had goats and sheep in. We had about 6 inches of snow on the ground. It's about 30 degrees. We put the goats up because we knew one of them was going to have a baby. We went to work, came home that night, and Delilah was laying out in the middle of the field. And we're like, well, that's weird because, she doesn't usually just lay in the middle of the field, even though she loves it when it's cold. And so, she'd be outside. But we go out there, and the mama goat had got out of the barn, had twin kids, left them, went back in the barn because it was warmer, and she's just a terrible mom. And Delilah cleaned off the kid goats and wrapped herself around them to keep them warm. And they made it. They survived. And that was, that's just, she had this very protective, guardian nature. We had an elderly lady, Etta, that was bedridden. And she was on the farm next to ours. And we had another lady that lived on what's now our South Farm. Jill, and Etta, who was bedridden, she had dog cookies for Delilah, and Delilah would go to her house, walk to her house, open the door. She knew how to open the door, would open the door and go spend about 2 hours with her and just sit, keep her company, and get dog treats. And she just loved it. And boy, Etta loved Delilah, just loved her to death. And then Julie, Jill, who lived just across from us, Delilah would leave Etta's house and go down to Jill's house and visit Jill and get some cookies. And Jill would call me up and say, "Hey, Delilah's visiting again. You want to come get her?" So I'd go get her and bring her home. So last year we had Sam had passed away. He just passed away in the field watching the sheep. I mean, he was just doing what he loved to do. And he was, by that time, he was, 12, 13, which is, pretty old for Great Pyrenees. And Delilah was just kind of lost. You could just tell she was just, and so unfortunately she was out on the highway and got hit, and we lost her. And but I think she was looking for Sam. She just couldn't find her Sam. So she was an amazing dog. I still, sorry, get a little choked up about her, but she's just way cool.
He was just your average country boy with a ball and a glove. Playing baseball in the yard with friends is what he loved. His mama looked through the window pane to see her pride and joy, thinking back 10 years ago when she saw that baby boy.
Sheep shearing, first of all, when we do sheep shearing, that's also the time that we do what we call a spa treatment for our sheep. We actually do hoof trimming. We do soaking their hooves in special foot baths that help the health of their hooves. We do health checks. We do deworming, parasite control if it's needed. So we have a lot of things we do just around the health of the sheep at the same time. And then we have professional shearers that come in the shearers, I mean, it's just amazing what they do. When you see a video of them or see them in person, and they just make it look so easy. Our shearers are always professional shearers, and the sheep's happier, I'm happier, everybody's happier when we have professional shearers. So bring in quality shearers, and then once we actually shear the wool, we actually take the wool to a separate area. We do what's called skirting, which is where you pick out plants or hay or stuff that's in the fiber, and we do that on a skirting table. So any bad shortcuts of wool fall through the table. And then we actually noodle it for storage and put it in storage racks. We take samples because we do testing. So it's a pretty involved process, but really, something we absolutely have to do, because our traditional business on the farm is around fiber, producing fiber. So we have to really go to great pains to make sure it's done well, with a lot of quality. We have folks that, we have spinners that are really, I'd call them artisans. I mean, they do some amazing things. They make sweaters, socks, because our wool is very, very soft. It's merino wool. They use it for a lot of what we call next to skin clothing. So it's not necessarily the outer garments as much as shirts and socks and things that are really, touching your skin. And so it's really, we see the majority of our wool goes into those kind of clothing items. So that's what's really rewarding, is when you see those end-to-end kind of products coming out. The other thing we do that's really unique is we sell sheep's milk. And we're actually launching this year a creamery so we can do sheep's milk ice cream on a commercial scale. We do small batch ice cream now. And sheep's milk's amazing because about 85% of the people that are lactose intolerant can drink sheep's milk. And it's really kind of cool. Just, if I can diverge real quick, but tell the story of how we got into making sheep's milk ice cream. We had a guy that worked for us and actually lived here on the farm with his wife. His name was Joe. And Joe's a huge guy. I mean, he's probably 290, 6'4", and not fat. I mean, just a huge guy, big bear of a guy, teddy bear of a guy, really nice guy. And but he's really lactose intolerant, and but he loved milk. And when he said, well, can I try the sheep's milk? I said, sure, try it, because a lot of times people drink it. He drank it. It was just he could drink it, no problems. He loved it. He's so excited. And after a little while, he came to us. He said, I haven't had, and this big old bear of a guy, could be really intimidating. I mean, he was almost in tears. He said, I haven't had ice cream in years. He said, I would really love to have ice cream, because it rips me up. I can't do it. Can you make some sheep's milk ice cream? Because maybe since I can drink the milk, I can eat the ice cream. I said, well, we can try. So we fooled around with it, figured out the formula, and he could drink it. Or he could eat it. He could eat the ice cream. He loved it. It was really good. So we started doing it, started making, we make it with all natural flavors and things. So it's really been cool. And so that's our biggest biggest growing part of the business is selling raw milk, and then starting the creamery so we can become a regional ice cream brand. So we're pretty excited about that. We love to have people come visit. We host, just between tours, people. We do have camping here at the farm. We also we're a harvest host. We have people that bring their RVs here and stay. We're averaging now about not counting the festival, be about between 300 and 400 visitors a year that come and visit the farm. And that includes, we have school groups. We had a school group last week. We have another group coming out in the month. And so it's really neat because, we have such a diversity of animals here. The Scottish Highlands everybody loves the Scottish Highlands, and the Great Pyrs and the sheep and the lambs. And so it's a real diversity. It's a real working ranch. We are a ranch. We sell our products all over southeastern Missouri, up into St. Louis. So we're a working ranch. Farm to table is what we specialize in. We also, like I said, we have the agritourism piece of it, which is really important, and an education piece. We actually host, for example, this year we have a new shepherd school. So people come out for 4 days and learn how to raise sheep and kind of intensive hands-on stuff. So we have a lot of stuff going on, and it's pretty active. And we just love having people come out and learn about the industry and sheep, because people don't realize it's pretty significant industry here.